Hello friends, Namaskar, Pranam, Sat Sri Akal, Adab, good morning. I'm really thankful to the people who have spared their time out of their very busy schedule to watch my introduction or curtain raiser episode of this series. Fabulous comments. I really like it. I'll be discussing these comments after third episode. Let it build up. Because curtain raiser or introduction is connected to the entire series, but after you have seen at least 3 episodes and listened to 4+ points of these 10 points, you will be able to arrive at a better resonance in your mind. What you wrote in my introductory episode of the curtain raiser, the first episode, second episode and third episode, things will mature up, and I would like to get it matured up. Be patient. Me, myself, and you also. Okay, let us start with our series, Paradox of Leadership. Episode 1.1. We'll be discussing in this episode 1 point or maximum 2 points. Depends upon the time. Because once we start talking on various aspects of a subject, it might go long. But I think an academic or training session in a video cannot be less than 15 minutes. It should be 15 minutes to build up the connectivity with the subject. If it is 1 or 2 minutes, everything is lost. It's not like a song which is there for 2, 3 or 4 minutes. It's academics. The person watching the video, listening to the speaker, has to connect himself or herself with his wordings, with his expressions. Various files gets opened up into the mind. When we see a video, listen to the speaker, understand the words and resonance between the lines he or she is talking. Because the speaker is also a learner. That speaker has learned somewhere, acquired some information, derived some data to be presented to his audience. So, we are going to start with our subject, Paradox of Leadership. We could have started with leadership traits also, but starting the other way around is always more inquisitive. Paradox word in itself seems to be a contradictory position in its presence. But when investigated deeply, it proves to be well-founded and true. Am I right? Are you with me? Paradox. Let's say one time, paradox. This word has got its own charisma. Paradox sounds big. In Hindi, we can call it virodhabhas, the contradiction. This challenges the virtues of leadership. From man to man, place to place, person to person, project to project, subject to subject, mission to mission. In fact, the moment you, me, or anybody starts with leadership, we have to put ourselves like this, with the mind, body, and soul erected, attentive, opened up. And the first question comes from the other side is, do you get the leadership? Isn't it challenging? Do you get the leadership? You must be shocked what I said. Ask yourself, even if you are a small child of elementary school, middle school, senior school, college, or a working professional, you must be leading maybe one person, maybe two person, maybe number of people, maybe a full project, maybe a full company, maybe a whole residential society, maybe an institution, maybe an entire city, maybe entire state, or maybe entire nation. But things change at every level. Somewhere it will be virtue, somewhere it will be paradox. So here we have to discuss, do you get leadership? We have to understand this. 4 words, do you get leadership? I've repeated it for 4 times. Say it to yourself. Then you will realize the fact. On the basis of your experience, being a leader or trying to be a leader. To be an iconic leader in your career, you don't have to be a supercomputer. But on the other hand, you should be an informed, formally or informally educated, trained and exposed person or professional. But besides this, at the outset, first you should be a human being. Human being, animals are also leaders, but they are different. They have got different gravity of that leadership. That is only for eat, reproduce, and kill. That's survival. But being human, you can do that. Some people might be doing it, but 99.99999% people don't do it, cannot do it. If they do it, they are subjected to various kind of problems. So first you have to be a human being with few very established factors. Number 1, intelligence. Number 2, strategy. Number 3, creativity. Number 4, courage. And number 5, a heart with full of feelings of leadership. These 5 factors are empirical to be a true leader. Without this, you cannot be a leader. Because when you're a leader, you're leading somebody, you're leading a team, you're leading a group. You lead a team of prospective leaders into that group, to the generations to come in times. Basic responsibility of leader is to make new leaders. If he is a true leader, only then he can create leaders. Otherwise, he cannot create leaders. People will not follow him to be leaders. If you look back, right from our school, from nursery to the final, maybe bachelor's, master's, or doctorates, at every level we had teachers who led us to pass through various levels of education. And very few are sitting here. Remember, when we think of it, we go like this. Automatically, our head goes down with respect. How? How come? Why? Why not all of them? They were the same, having same status, maybe same academic background, maybe same physical personality, maybe similar kind of authenticity in their talks and voice and delivery, but not everybody is sitting here who makes us to bow like this. With respect, this is where I say, did you or do you get leadership? Those people got leadership. And they passed on it to us and made what we are today. This package of 5 facts of life of a human being, if imbibed, brushed, and enlightened, would certainly get you leadership. It is automatic. It cannot be overlooked. It cannot be missed. While in the process of your team management, working on various projects of your company, of your school, of your college, of your institute, of your place of living, or anywhere, in the present day of digital world, we're subjected to huge data statistics and sub-matrix to tax a supercomputer. Innumerable number of sources wherefrom data flows in. At times we feel our brain, which is a natural supercomputer, is fed up, is tired, off. In that event, you would not be able to measure these character strengths. Inflow of data. He did that, it happened, that happened, how it happened, why it happened, it should not have happened. How will you justify it with the 5 factors of being a human being? As mentioned earlier, where the peers and subordinates would be hard-pressed to put a price tag on all of them as regard. If you are able to balance it with those 5 facts, handling of data statistics like a supercomputer. It reminds me of a series, TV series, Tipu Sultan. I think it was almost 30 years back. I don't know whether it's a fact or not, but the producer showed it like that. That when Tipu Sultan took over the throne, he called for parade of his generals, his darbaris, his ministers in line. of more than 20 plus people. He started asking from one person his name and every detail. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the last. And everybody was happy that whatever he has asked has been answered properly. But again, to show his leadership quotient, to show his might, the director of that series showed that he started from the first one again, repeated his name, the entire detail what he has given to Tipu Sultan, and cross-verified it. By the time he reached 5th or 6th, everybody was dumbstruck. What kind of intelligence? What kind of clarity? What kind of absorption Tipu Sultan has? We could see the faces, the expressions on the television series. This is what I'm talking. First of all, you have to be a human being. Even dog reciprocates if you become his leader. Any pet, may it be dog or any pet, reciprocates the way you want. So, point is, do you get leadership? So, once you start handling the pressures of leadership quotient, the peers and subordinates would be hard pressed to put a price tag on all of them as reward. Who do you want to be a leader? First of all, respect. That is a reward. Respect is the first price tag. Rest all follows. Money follows, material follows, facility follows, promotions follows. First is respect. When anything and everything gained and acquired with respect involves peace. Respect and peace involve growth with the positive affirmation. So, during your professional journey of reaching the heights of becoming a super leader or a true leader or a CEO of a company or managing director of a company or president of a company or a minister or a prime minister or a president, for which you have worked hard till the day you are going to realize that you are a leader. You would have worked with various great leaders in their own part, in professional and business life. Who would have made you what you are. They are the masters, they are the mentors, they are the coaches. Never forget them. You have to look back always. And when you come back, you have to bow them with respect. It may be a nursery teacher. It may be a teacher in grade 5, grade 10, grade 12, or in college, or in masters. It reminds me of a real life story of my own family. When my son did his bachelor's from India, we sent him to do masters from UK, to Northumbria University. To my surprise, after 25 days he called. He says, "Dad, we never studied properly in India. And people didn't teach us properly in India. Or we might not have been able to acquire or understand our teachers properly in India. But we are made to study properly here in Northumbria University. Now I understand what is academics. Teachers are real teachers. Guides are real guides. If at 2:30 at night, if I am subjected to a confusion, I'm free to call on my teacher, my mentor, my professor. The moment I call, he or she picks up the phone and she says, "How can I help you?" See, imagine. The leadership at the heart that person is having. When a student calls, he says, "How can I help you?" If it is not in their heart, they will say, "Who are you? Why are you disturbing?" It happens. It happened in our life. I have seen it. We must be seeing here also. So everybody is a leader, but cannot be a leader or a true leader. A teacher is a leader, but again, how many? So, the day we are talking, the day you are listening, the moment you are listening, you must have been made what you are today by somebody. Recall that person, remember that person. Bring complete respect to yourself for that person. You will see God in front of you. G-O-D, generator, operator, destroyer. Destroyer is very important as generators are important. Generator and operator work on the basis of destroyer. If operator cannot work till nth time, there is a limit to everything. That's also a leadership part. The understanding. Where, when, how much, for what, and finish. But still there is a long way to go till the last breath, not only physically, but professionally. We are working hard on leadership in our life, not only personally. Personally is hardly 20%. If you are a good human being, you don't require anybody to lead you. But even if you are required to lead, it's hardly 20% of the life. Rest 60 to 80% is professional leadership. And again, to be a good professional leadership, personality, you have to have a blend of many attributes and actions that are paradoxical. Because your success would be anchored, how would you manage these paradoxes? Because raw material from one person is scrap for other person, scrap of one person is raw material of other person. These are the paradoxes. Now, after talking for almost 20 plus minutes as a preface to my series of 10 points, if we talk and think about these paradoxes to get the best of your team, whom you are going to lead, now let us start with point number 1. The point number 1 says, always be there for your team members, not one of them. Isn't it paradoxical? I'm saying always be there for your team members, but not one of them. Once you become a leader, you are subjected to a protocol. Some people might call it arrogance, high-headedness. Once you wear a uniform, you have to respect the basic protocol of that uniform. So, if you want to handle this paradox, being there with the team members and not being one of them. Put yourself into the shoes of your team members. After becoming leader, still you have to put yourself into the shoes of your team members and think like them, because you are one of them. Don't get carried away with the uniform, the status, the position, the designation. If you go with that only, you will be missing something in leadership. That is why it is said, be there but not be one of them. Put yourself into their shoes and start understanding, realizing. This will inform your empathy in your decisions, because you'll be leading a number of people in one go, number of mentalities, number of brains, number of understandings, number of people who have got different understandings of one particular word or subject at one point of time. This is called management. Leadership is pure form of management. The management word itself speaks what it is. Man, age and meant. When you are handling men or men of different ages and different mentalities at one point on one subject, at one place, for one cause, that is called management. And leadership is a refined form of management. When you put yourself into the shoes of your team members and think like them because you are one of them, this will inform your empathy in your decisions. You'll be able to understand different people with different thinkings, with different age groups, with different understandings at one point of time, for one project, for one cause, for one result. In this way, you will become an integral part of the team, establishing the fact that I am not only a player, I'm not only an executive, I'm not only a worker, I'm not only a follower, but the leader. To achieve this, you should be approachable and affable, being relevant to your teammates, yet respect their space. You should be their greatest advocate. They need your advice at times. They need your support at all times. If they don't need your advice and support, you're not a leader. They're a leader in themselves. They don't want you. They don't need you. But often, the toughest critic also. If you are in a position to advise somebody, you should be able to retract in your mind what you have given him as advice, what are the bases, on the basis of his own personality, in his own identity, his experience, his knowledge, his intellect, his understanding. If needed, on his reaction to your advice, you should be in a position to be the toughest critic to get the best respect and response. The moment you give an advice and you are not there to go for being a critic to it, nobody will give you respect. कहीं से पढ़ के दे दिया हो. He must have copied and given it to us, but he does not have the other side of this aspect. So, another way I say, you should behave like a general, the commander-in-chief, but still never see yourself above anyone else. Grounded. Grounded, the humility, the humbleness, the heartful of feeling of leadership. All the four other points, the factors, the strengths are based on that. If you don't have that strength, all four are useless. You should have the attitude, because of this kind of an attitude of yours. Your teammates working for you on any project, any place, any mission would love to give their best, as you would be striking an enormous balance in handling their mind, body, and soul. Always keep it in mind that too much of separation of distance. This is another aspect of team management, leadership. You have to be there at all times, as said in the beginning. Always keep it in mind that too much of separation and distance would be out of touch. Also, too much of trying to be one of the guys, you will be compromising your credibility. Balance. You are there, but you are not there as they are. You are there as a leader, as a mentor, as a coach, as a guide. So, I think this takes care of the point number one. Always be there with your teammates, but not as one of them. Here we conclude our first episode. I think whatever I tried to say must be prudent and connected to the topic. If not, give your true and open feedback. I'm learning. As I say, I'm an avid learner and humble student. You people are much more intelligent than I am. Make me better what I am today. I will be thankful to you. Let's meet in episode 2 with point number 2 and onwards. Till then, goodbye. Have a good time. Stay blessed. Pranam.